Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Dustin Shepherdson, 5615. Thanks for the suggestion, Dustin Shepherdson. You asked, why do we sweat? At first glance, it feels like the dumbest invention ever. We're the only animal that decided, yeah, let's pour water out of our skin in public. It ruins shirts, makes handshakes terrifying, and gives you those shiny forehead moments when you're trying to look confident. And yet, sweating is not only important, it's literally the reason you're not a fainted puddle on the ground right now. So grab a towel. We're diving into why our bodies insist on leaking like faulty faucets, right here on Explaining Everything. Okay, first things first. Sweat doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It comes from tiny factories under your skin called sweat glands, and your body has a lot of them, like millions. You might think you're just one person, but honestly, you're a walking water park. There are two main types of sweat glands, eccrine and apocrine. Eccrine glands are the sensible ones. They're all over your body and produce the watery, salty sweat that cools you down. These are the ones that save your life when you're overheating. Then, there are the apocrine glands, which are mostly in your armpits and groin. These ones release a thicker, milky sweat. And here's the kicker. It doesn't actually stink on its own. It's odorless. But bacteria on your skin are like, ooh, free buffet, and chow down, releasing those smells that make deodorant companies rich. So, if you've ever wondered why stress sweat smells worse than gym sweat, thank your apocrine glands and their little bacterial fan club. So why does sweat actually help? It's all about evaporation. When your body temperature climbs, whether from running, sunbathing, or panicking during a work presentation, your brain hits the cool down button. This sends signals to your sweat glands to start producing liquid. But the sweat itself isn't cooling you off while it's sitting there. Nope, it's just hanging out awkwardly, making your shirt clingy. The real magic happens when that sweat evaporates. As the water in sweat turns into vapor and leaves your skin, it pulls heat away with it. Boom! Instant cooling system. It's like your body invented its own swamp cooler. The catch? Humid days mess it all up. If the air is already heavy with water, your sweat just sits there, refusing to evaporate. That's why on humid summer days, you feel like a damp sponge that wants to cry. And on dry days, you might not even notice how much water you're losing because it evaporates so quickly. Either way, you're still leaking like a poorly sealed juice box. Here's where sweating goes from science to pure humiliation. Because sweating isn't just about heat, it's about feelings. You know that moment when you're about to give a speech and suddenly your palms turn into slip and slides? That's stress sweat. When you're nervous, your body flips into fight or flight mode. Your heart races, adrenaline surges, and your sweat glands get dragged into the drama. Except instead of preparing you for battle, they just soak your armpits right before the big presentation. Thanks, biology. Very helpful. And remember those apocrine glands. They're the ones activated by stress, which means your body has chosen the most high-stakes moment of your life to unleash the smelliest, sweat possible. Imagine going on a first date and your biology decides, let's crank the garlic socks energy up a notch. Truly, nature is cruel. Now here's the wild part. Humans are really good at sweating, like Olympic-level good. Most mammals cool down by panting. Dogs stick out their tongues. Cats just flop dramatically in the sun. But humans? We sweat everywhere. Our foreheads, backs, even our butts. We are covered in sweat glands like we're trying to win a contest no one asked for. And it turns out, this might be one of our greatest evolutionary flexes. Way back when our ancestors were chasing animals across the savannah, our ability to sweat let us run longer without overheating. Other animals had to stop and pant, but sweaty humans could just keep going until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. So basically, we're here today because our great-great-great-grandparents were professional sweaty marathoners. It's not glamorous, but it worked. We're the species that weaponized sweat. Congratulations, humanity. You stink, but you win. It's the body's built-in air conditioner, running on nothing but water and awkward social timing. Our eccrine glands keep us cool. Evaporation does the heavy lifting, and stress sweat just exists to embarrass us at job interviews. It might feel gross, it might smell weird, and it definitely ruins white t-shirts. But sweating is the reason we survive heat waves, workouts, and even our own evolutionary history. In a way, sweat is proof that being a little messy sometimes is what keeps us alive. So next time you're dripping after a run, or nervously wiping your palms before shaking hands, just remember, you're not malfunctioning. You're displaying one of the most effective, if least glamorous, survival tricks on Earth. If you're now more appreciative of your own body quirks, don't forget to like, subscribe, and sure, it smells stinky, but that's what showers are for. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.